Hey everyone, welcome to Taking the Pulse, a healthcare and life sciences video podcast. I am Heather Hoops Matthews, here today with Maynard Nexon healthcare attorney Matthew Roberts. Matthew, good to be with you.
Good to see you.
We are coming to you live from NC LifeSci. This is the annual meeting of North Carolina's Life Sciences Organization. It's pulling together some of the premier companies globally here in the Southeast, and we are delighted today to have one of them joining us, Ed Hernandez of Eli Lilly. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You just finished giving the keynote just a few minutes ago, literally walked out the door. You serve as Senior Vice President of Drug Product Manufacturing and the President of Global Manufacturing for Eli Lilly, plants all over, yes. You've been with the company since 2009, and as the company has grown, you now have facilities in 9 countries, and you're continuing to expand the portfolio of medicine treatments in the areas of diabetes, cancer, obesity, and more. We'd love to hear, as we get started today, about Eli Lilly information. We'd love to start with just a little bit of background about you,
Sure.
How you got into this, exactly what you do at the company, and your passion for it.
Oh, sure, absolutely. I can tell you a little bit about my story. I mean, I'm a chemical engineer.
Okay.
I went to school and I studied chemistry and then stumbled into chemical engineering. I said, oh, there's something here of passion, and think I wanted to be an environmental engineer. So I wanted to have a huge impact and help save the world back then. And so I started working in a pharmaceutical company in Michigan after school, and I started as an environmental engineer. But I kind of got curiosity around process engineering and the making of the medicine.
Okay.
And I slowly but surely transitioned from the environmental side to the process making medicine side of it.
Yes.
And I fell in love. I think it's been the honor of my life to make medicines that are transformative and change the life of patients.
Yes.
So I stumbled upon it, stayed into that. I did multiple jobs in work in Michigan, New York, Sweden, with a previous company, and then worked for Lilly in Puerto Rico, from where I'm native, and Indiana, here in North Carolina, France, and other locations. So,
And your role, you're over the manufacturing sites in 9 countries.
yeah, we have 13,500 employees in the manufacturing and quality organization of Eli Lilly and Company.
Yes.
And growing fast.
Wow.
So if anybody's interested in a job,
Yes, you can
we
help.
can send you a link, lilly.com careers.
Yes, thank you.
In your remarks, you talked a little bit about your expansion, and can you talk a little bit about the elements that go into Eli Lilly's decisions to expand, whether it's in this market or another market? What gives you the confidence to do that?
Sure. Yeah, there are many aspects. We are engineers, right? So there's a matrix of different criteria, including access to construction workforce and construction costs and many other things. But if I were to summarize, all the more important things that we look is access to talent. Where is the talent available so that we can tap on that talent? And it's engineers and scientists, of course, but it's also like operators, mechanics, lab technicians, material handlers. Those are in short supply in the U.S. When we look at different locations around the country, it's where we can get better access to those talents. And here in North Carolina, I'm super proud. We have been able to work with Wade Tech and Durham Tech, the community college systems, to actually develop the workforce. So we're not only coming and getting access to talent, but we're also providing an outlet for people to get careers and that they develop themselves, and that drives social mobility. So we have a good impact in the communities we serve, and I love that.
How important is for organizations like NC LifeSci to help facilitate that workforce development, to help establish the ground conditions for companies like Eli Lilly to consider moving here?
I was telling in the conference the story how we got to North Carolina. We were actually looking at an existing GlaxoSmithKline facility, that it was a pilot plant. We thought we can refurbish it and get access to make medicine quicker. So we went in and looked at the facility. Day one, we landed here, and we were welcome here first. Right. And they explained us all the ecosystem, how to get through the permitting process, and what are important things to consider, like what partners are here in the state that you can work with, construction, commission, and qualification companies. We went and saw the facility, and we were less than impressed. It wasn't what we were looking for, right? I mean, we sort of had two choices to make. We stick with the North Carolina, or we can go someplace else and work with a different state. But the NC Bio, the NC Life Sciences organizations, they stay so close to us and made it so easy to make the decision to actually stay here in the state.
Good.
Yeah.
It's good to hear.
And you started with one facility, right? So tell us what was the experience and then what happened?
It's so funny. I mean, it's probably the first facility that we built in probably 40 years. I mean, like we had a very established network of manufacturing facilities. And our strategy was always to continue to recap, invest, and expand in those locations.
Yes.
I mean, we were concerned about breaking ground in a new place. I mean, because you had to build all the infrastructure.
Greenfield, right.
So we came here, I mean, like, and we broke ground, and in 3 years after, we were making medicine. We hired 99% of our workforce here. And it was so easy that we decided to stay in the state and expand into the Concord area, close to Charlotte, actually.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
I mean, if you ask me like what criteria we use to select locations, close to logistic hubs is ideal, right? I mean, so Concord is very close to Charlotte.
Yes.
RTP is very close to Raleigh-Durham
Raleigh.
Airport.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the criteria we kind of as well follow.
Yes, thank you.
When you mention partnerships, there are lots of different ways that life sciences companies can partner, whether it be on the clinical, scientific, research side. But what are some of the things that your company thinks about when you're thinking about innovation and partnerships and trying to develop strategic relationships that will further your business goals?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, like we have a number of those. I mean, here in multiple locations, we partner with design and construction companies. I mean, that's important because you need that kind of knowledge, and I mean, like you need to design your facilities to meet the standards. We are in a highly regulated industry, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. So we do that. I mean, we partner also with suppliers of raw materials that comes to us from all over the world, right? I mean, to make the medicines that we and we have very high standards. I mean, because like we make medicines, right? I mean, like I remind people we don't make widgets. I mean, so that requires that every raw material, every component needs like of the high quality. And we partner with like local authorities and community colleges and universities. I mean, like you need to have all of those presence in the locations you operate. I mean, because you don't have, if you're missing one, you basically it's like a broken puzzle, right? I mean, and there's very few locations around the world that have that ecosystem so well figured out. North Carolina being one of them.
Right. On that, you mentioned it being highly regulated. How important is it to establish, which Eli Lilly has, a culture of embracing the regulations and being on top of them at every stage? Because you've got state, local, federal regulations that you're dealing with. How do you manage the complexities of that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like we have, we call it like our management system is an operational excellence framework, right? I mean, and we call it operational excellence, all aspects of operational excellence. And that describes to our employees what we care about, right? I mean, and there that starts with safety. We tell everybody in our organization we make medicines with safety first and quality always. Okay. Very simple, very catchy, easy to remember. I mean, like you walk through any of my facilities all over the world and people will tell you that's our mission, that's what we do.
Good.
In that framework, we talk about the regulated environment, right? I mean, we start with safety, right? I mean, we want every person that comes to our facility to be safe. That includes employees, but contractors, visitors. I mean, like, and we think safety at the broader safety, the safety of the community in which you operate, which incorporate aspects of sustainability. I mean, which we are not regulated in the sustainability space, but we want to be good corporate citizens, right? And then you go into quality of the medicines, which is absolutely highly regulated. I mean, but beyond regulations, I mean, we want to make sure that every dose that we produce is right every time. Right. It has to be right. I mean, because I mean, we want our patients to worry about their disease and how they can get better, not about the quality of the medicines, right? That's our responsibility. And we take that really, really seriously. Yes. And we're constantly trying to stay ahead. I mean, so you look at RTP, the facility we built here, it's completely automated. And we didn't automate it because we wanted efficiency. We automated because we wanted like the highest possible quality. Right. Because with automation, you have high repeatability. You repeat things over and over and over. You know exactly how they happen, and you have a trace of evidence on how these things happen. So we went heavily on automation just to enable the highest level of quality in our medicines.
That's good.
Speaking of automation, is that one of the things that we'll see more of in the future? I want you to kind of end with us, giving us your view of what you see on the runway ahead.
On the runway ahead, absolutely, yeah. So like we tested these systems in RTP, right? I mean, we went from what we call dock-to-dock systems. So like we don't have operators moving materials anymore.
Right.
Like robots move materials through the facility. And we didn't, again, we did that because we wanted higher quality, but with higher safety, right? When you move materials, there's a lot of repetition. You're moving boxes from one place to the other, and that created a lot of ergonomic strain, right? I mean,
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
so we wanted to avoid that strain in our workforce, right? I mean, and now we use our workforce to do like things that improve the quality of the medicine, right? Improve the safety of the facilities. I mean, so we're using them to things that are more value added than moving materials through the facility as well. I mean, so that was our first sort of like step into that. Now it become the way we do things. So our new facilities are designed completely with like complete automated product material flow, complete electronic batch records, which means that all the instructions are in a computer and the operators interact with the computer to drive the process and the continuous improvement of the medicines, right? Same for testing and whatnot. I think what the future holds, I mean, artificial intelligence brings a humongous promise to us. I mean, a lot of people are talking about it. I mean, I'm still defining how that's going to look like.
Yes.
But let me tell you the things that we're doing with artificial intelligence, which I'm super excited about. Probably too excited. So we're doing it to drive better quality, right? I mean, one of the things that we always look is when we have deviations in our process, we have to investigate them, right? I mean,
Sure.
to make sure that they don't have any impact in the quality of the medicines. And we look holistically at those deviations. Every week, every month, every engineer that I have, every scientist does that to try to identify if there are trends. But there's human bias in trending and whatnot, right? I mean, so artificial intelligence promised to remove the bias.
Right.
And then I have a computer system that basically trolling all our deviations, not only locally, but globally.
Right.
So that we can make it better and better for patients. So we're excited about the promise that brings. I mean,
Right.
we're also looking at the efficiency of the assets, right? I mean, like machines stop. Why do they stop? And now we're using artificial intelligence to see it stop because the components are different. Right. It stopped because there is a particular issue in a piece of equipment that we need to fix. So it's super exciting what the future is going to hold for manufacturing of medicines.
It makes you think about operations in a whole different way when you have the tool of machine learning, I think.
Yes.
Or at least I'm starting to learn that way. Anyway.
Yeah, we're all learning.
Well, Ed, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, Ed Hernandez of Eli Lilly, President of Global Manufacturing and Senior Vice President of Drug Product Manufacturing. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Appreciate your sponsorship for NC Life Sci, and good luck on the future.
Oh, no, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.